Giant Goofballs, a New York Giants podcast. Are you a goofball that loves Giant football? If so, sit back and relax as we talk about the team that both excites and frustrates us so much. And now, here are your goofball hosts, Drew and Rob.
Welcome, fellow goofballs, to Two Giant Goofballs, a New York Giants podcast. I am Drew, joined as always by...
Me, Rob, in the darkness.
In the dark of the night.
The dark of the it is that time of year.
If you were a duck, you'd be Darkwing Duck.
Let's get dangerous.
Darkwing Duck. That guy did so many Disney voices, it's not even funny.
Yeah.
You know what the scary
back in
thing
the
is?
day,
Yeah.
like, they used like 20 animated actors' voices for like everything.
Yes.
That's what it feels like.
So the same guy who did Winnie the Pooh did that voice. Winnie the freaking Pooh.
That was
And
Winnie the Pooh. God.
Yeah.
God.
And then on top of that, what they did was, if you listen to "Be Prepared," the song in The Lion King that Scar sings, there's a section of it where his voice changes because, what's his name? Jeremy Irons had, I guess, some kind of vocal issue, was having trouble singing because of his illness, and this guy just stepped in and did a verse basically in the song, and you can tell. And once you hear it, you can't unhear it.
Huh.
But it's a totally different guy singing. It's the same guy.
I was about to say, when you said Scar, I was like, whoa, that's Irons.
His name is Jim Cummings. He also did, if you remember, the lightning bug in Princess and the Frog. He also did that one. He did a whole bunch of stuff.
Oh,
anyway,
yeah. The same thing. Like Baloo and he was in how many different Disney movies?
Well, he was
the same voice actor. But he was the same voice actor. That's what I'm trying to say.
All right, let's get into football here. We gotta get 7 minutes ranting on Disney here.
Because otherwise, you're just going to bring up how I didn't watch this.
Oh boy.
Yeah. What? What do you mean you haven't watched Moana yet?
I still can't believe you haven't watched Moana. That's besides the point. Okay. Anyway, let's get on to football here. We got week 3 to talk about. We got records being broken in the NFL. We have potentially the greatest offensive output / worst defensive output in NFL history happened this weekend as well. God. Oh my gosh. So obviously, as always, we got to sum up Thursday again. It was the Giants this week here, so we talked about it ad nauseum enough.
Hey, there's a video about that. You guys should probably watch it.
We did. It's been a week old now, but go for it. It's a good watch though. Giants lose 30-12. We're in it though until the fourth quarter. We talked about all the injuries. No Andrew Thomas, no Azeez Ojulari, no Saquon Barkley, no Ben Bredesen.
Drew was a hopeful one in this podcast. So
I was. It was a
little bit different. It
was really weird. Yeah, kind of felt a little weird, but it was hopeful. I still am. I still think we lost 2 games so far this year to teams that are, on paper at least, better teams than the Giants roster wise. We beat one team that isn't where we should be. I hate to say it that way because we're 1-2, but we're where we should be. We're not better than the Niners. We're not. We're not better than the Cowboys. We're not.
I mean, there's an argument's sake that they should have went to the Super Bowl last year if it wasn't for that severe injury to Brock Purdy.
Brock Purdy and every other quarterback they had. I mean,
yeah, when you're a 4th-string quarterback, you're in up Schitt's Creek without a paddle.
So yeah, but like I said, I Giant fans, Goose Fraba. Because I see a lot of Giants fans freaking out. Goose Fraba. It could be worse. You could be a Bears fan, and I'm not just saying that because I saw Harry the Greek react to the video. I know he's watching. But like I said, could be worse. Right. Let's get into Sunday. Monster offenses. And I think we got to start off here with one of the big surprises. And Rob, this one's your game, but I'm just going to say this. You and I have been tooting this one team's horn since the first week of the season here. Obviously, it's only a couple weeks ago, but still, we were on this bandwagon early on that they played very well week 1. played extremely well in a win the week 2, and now here they are, one of the shockers of the week here, week 3. Go for it.
For the upset, those Indianapolis Colts wound up beating up those Chargers. Colts win 22-19 in overtime this game. And Drew, what did I say? It was going to be one of those defensive games. It's like, obviously the offense is going to show up. Your starting quarterback is not the guy that's going to be hitting there. But at the end of the day, Matt Gray hit the game trying a field goal. And the game went in a drive field goal with, a 1:14 left, I believe it was in OT.
Yep.
Hits 4 field goals the whole game. All over 50 yards. You want to talk about a boot? You want to talk about a guy that should be on your fantasy team? Das Boot.
Das Boot.
Listen, if he had 4 Das Boots in that game, he'd be wrecked. But Justin Tucker.
How would you get around the bubble? Air bubble gets you every time.
You got to turn the boot. Justin Tucker missed a 62-yard field goal attempt with 4 seconds left. You can't blame the man. He's been in the league a very long time. He's very reliable. There's a reason why he's pushing 2 decades as a kicker in this league.
Potentially the best kicker ever to play the game.
Yeah. Gardner Minshew was 27 for 44 yards with 227 yards. Wow, did I say that right? I think I messed
27
that up.
to 44, 277 yards. And
1 touchdown.
There you go.
There we go. Zach Moss was 30 for 122 and 1 receiving touchdown.
The Zach attack.
Dude, nuts. Lamar Jackson, 22 of 31 with 202 yards. And he also ran 14 attempts, 101 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Dude was running for his life from that defense, which we've been tuning that up all year.
Like I said, we've been talking about the Colts since the week 1. We saw how well they played against, an obviously better team. They crushed the Texans last week. We'll get to the Texans and what they did this week, but maybe not so bad after all. And now they beat the Ravens, who are typically one of the better teams in the AFC year in, year out, for the last decade. Yeah. I mean, that's a solid win, guys. That's a solid win. And without their starting quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, Minshew is
he's a veteran, second string.
Even though he's 4 years in the league, I feel like he's only been in the league.
I think it's like 6 now.
Hasn't been that long, but he's not, he's not like,
because he was drafted
38-year-old backup quarterback, but he's still a guy who's got some experience. He's got some starting experience. He's a perfect backup. And
listen, if the Commanders had the opportunity to have him as a starting quarterback, they'd probably take him.
I don't think they would, and that's part of the problem, but we'll get to that later on in this episode. Yeah. Next game.
Well,
Tennessee Titans go into Cleveland to face the Browns. What can they do without Nick Chubb? As we know now, Nick Chubb is officially out for the year with an MCL tear. Somehow nothing else tore fully. Partial ACL tear, but that's
for
insanity. Insanity. Seriously. As much as we joke around about stuff, that's awesome, because I would have hated to see that man not be able to even, let alone play, but just live a normal life because of a football hit. And that's what kind of hit I thought he was taking that night. So,
there was talks about losing a leg. There's talks about not being able to walk the same, but just an MCL. Yeah, kudos to him with a slight ACL, but
I said, but it's not a full tear. Just so that'll heal. That'll be fine. Browns win though, 27-3, and it begs a couple of questions. Are the Titans no longer the Titans we've known? They've never been like the elite team. Don't get me wrong, but they've been a perennial playoff team, above average team. They just missed the playoffs last year. They haven't looked so good so far this year. They had a lot of turnover on that roster. You got to wonder, is this going to be time for them to rebuild in Tennessee now? And the other question you got to wonder is, are the Browns now officially one of the elite defenses in the NFL? Because they've been playing like it so far this year. They've been playing really good this year.
They, by far, are a top 10. You could argue a top 5 defense this year.
Listen, you got to argue top 3 even potentially after what they did now. Tannehill, 13 of 25, 104 yards. Derrick Henry, King Henry, the greatest running back in the NFL, 11 rushes, 20 yards.
Oh, I know.
Ownership.
He's
That's
on one
ownership.
of my That's one of my fancy running backs there. But we also talked about is King Henry. Did he wear out that tread on those tires? Like, he still got that gas tank?
We've been saying that for the last couple of years, and as soon as we think that's the case, he just all of a sudden turns around and shoots up a 150-yard game. So I'll believe it when it's been half a year. Deshaun Watson in the game, 27 of 33, 289 yards, 2 touchdowns, 5 Swedish massages, and 1 deep tissue. Mari Cooper.
I mean, he did seem very relaxed going into this game. Just
very mobile.
Just saying. Super calm.
For some reason, he lost his towel he had on his uniform at halftime. Amari Cooper, 7 catches, 116 yards and a TD. Here's one of the oddest stat lines in this game, and I had to write it because the guy scored 2 touchdowns. But Jerome Ford, 10 carries, 18 yards rushing. But he got a rushing touchdown and a receiving touchdown in the game. So you can't say it's a bad game for him because of those 2 touchdowns, but goddamn.
So
that's a 1.8 yard per carry. That doesn't take a genius for that one. That's for sure.
The average listener doesn't know who this guy is, but if you're into fantasy and you're in a big fantasy league,
you in the fantasy again.
I'm just saying, no, this was the talk. Like, can he replace Nick Chubb? Can he put up your points? Can he do this or that? Well, we're not talking about actual stat lines, but if you look at fantasy, he put you up 14 points last week. So that was a good fill-in.
Yeah. 15, right? Because you got you're right, 14, yeah. 14 you got.
Yeah, unless you've got a DPR, because then if you're points per reception or touch, if you will, then he got you an extra 10 points.
Yeah. Now,
so that's not
back
a bad
in the game as well, the Browns did re-sign Kareem Hunt, who's been somehow sitting, just sitting around, just scratching himself, waiting for somebody to sign him. So he had 5 carries, 13 yards in the game overall and 2 receptions. But that's a name to watch at if you want to give a name to watch at in fantasy if anybody hasn't picked him up in your leagues yet, because as he gets better towards the end of the year and gets a little back into game shape, he's a guy that can tear off in no time. Don't forget what he did his first couple of years in the Kansas City, and he's been sitting behind Nick Chubb the last couple of years. So,
he's the guy that he was the guy that would put up points for either way as your RB2, RB3. But that's a game to watch out for because he could be your RB1 very sneakily by the second half this year.
Listen, he's a 3rd game of the year. He didn't do much because he's rusty as all hell. He has a talent. He can still lead the league in rushing yards, even minus his first couple games. He's that good.
That's what I'm saying.
When he wants to be.
I'm saying he could be sneaky good. So just watch out for him because no one is counting him in when they should be.
I wish we had the Seahawks next so we can segue into sneaky good or sneaky peep. We don't.
No.
What's the next game we got there, Rob?
We got the New Orleans Saints at Green Bay. God.
New Orleans Saints.
Lose to the Packers with some love.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Packers win.
No.
No. I hate that song's finished from TikTok.
I tell you, half the modern songs I know are from TikTok. And when I say half, I mean probably 90%.
And probably because 40 to 50% of those came off of TikTok.
I hear them now, and I'm like, oh my God, I know that song from TikTok.
But the Packs squeaked this one out 18-17.
Squeaky.
Score was 17-0 in the 4th quarter. Ouch. Derek Carr was 13 of 18, 103 yards, 1 touchdown. Got hurt, left the game. Got hit by Rashad.
Lamajama.
Right? That was a big sack by Rashard J over there.
Oh, I'm sure he's got a big sack, all right.
Oh, yeah. But Carr, another guy with the AC joint sprain. Another guy that's getting injured this year.
Yep. And out of the throwing shoulder.
Yeah. There's a lot of crazy injuries this year as well. So keep that in mind when you're taking your picks going forward. But Chris Olave.
Listen, I'll say this. You love talking about fantasy. let's get to this little fantasy here. Jameis Winston. We all know that man can throw the ball. He doesn't always throw it to the right team, but seriously,
I was about to say, listen,
if you need a quarterback because yours sucks so far this year, or you got one of them get injured, Jameis Winston will put up some points in fantasy.
I might be taking him up.
Yeah.
But Chris Olave, 8 receptions, 104 yards. Most of Carr's passes. Anyway, Rashad Sneeding, punt return for a touchdown. Sneedy-dee-deeds.
It's Rashid Shaheed.
It sounds like a tongue twister.
I know it is, but that's what it is. Rashid Shaheed is his name. And
a non-tongue twister is Jimmy Graham. It's amazing this guy still plays. He gets a touchdown.
And it's like something nostalgic when you see him playing again for the Saints and getting a touchdown. That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's like we are partying like it's 2012.
Maybe 10? When was he drafted?
I don't know. I'm picking a random year. I'm like, it's probably about 10 years ago.
Yeah, about right. Jordan Love, my fantasy quarterback, 22 for 44 attempts. He had 259 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, and he rushed one of those bad boys in himself. So 2 touchdowns on the day total.
Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you?
Bad boys, bad boys. But the Saints lose this game in Saints fashion since what's his face left. The now Broncos head coach.
What's his face? Sean Payton? You mean?
Yeah. What's his face? That guy. He won a Super Bowl. Yeah.
I heard things are going well for him. We'll talk about him in a moment.
Yeah. But they missed a field goal. She should have won the game.
Yeah.
They just
Typical Saints.
They blew it in that fourth quarter.
The New Orleans Aints.
Yeah.
All right, we got another shocker here.
You got an exciting game here.
Shocker. Shock and awe, people. If you decide, okay, before I even say the score, I want you guys to decide if you're going to shock, go, or you're going to awe. Like you need to.
I think it should be a little bit of both.
I think it should be both that because we got the Houston Texans going into Jacksonville and win 37-17. Oh my. I mean, wow. Like this is a team that just went toe for toe with the Kansas City Chiefs last week and held the Chiefs to a really low score, but the defense can't stop the Texans. I mean, guys were wide open the entire game at that, but wasn't even like, don't get me wrong, I don't want to take away from the Texans. I'm not trying to do that when I say this. But in the end, the Texans people are wide open. The Jags were just missing coverages left and right. Texans also blocked a field goal, returned a kickoff for a touchdown as well. So special teams was definitely in the action. It was a complete game domination. Trevor Lawrence ends up 27-40, 279 yards, 1 TD, 1 interception. CJ Stroud getting his first win in the NFL, 20 of 30, 280 with 2 touchdowns. Dameon Pierce gets a touchdown, but I got to mention him every week because he was one of my guys last year that I was kept on pounding the table saying, I told you he was good. Yeah. This year, he's shit. 14 carries, 31 yards. Tank Dell, tiny little rookie that I think somebody replaced him, misplaced him one time and they found him in a locker. He's 5 catches, 145 yards, and a touchdown. Little Tank Dell. So, yeah. Like I said, that was a complete domination by the Texans there. I mean, I'll call it off game by the Jags until they start doing worse and worse there. But that's a bad win there. Almost as embarrassing as another loss that the a certain team down in Texas may have had as well. It's like interesting game for Texans here.
Yeah, well, I mean, you also have to look at too. Like the Texans have been playing some tough football, and
Texans.
Yes, you say that, and we've said the same thing about the Cleveland Browns for how long? And look how well their defense is playing.
Yeah, but their offense is shit.
Yes, but this game shows it's not shit, and they hung in there with the Chiefs, like we said.
It is not shit.
It is not shit. I tell you, I'm
see.
just saying they might have more than 5 wins this year. Just don't be surprised.
But you, Rob, you get the game of the week here.
The closest game, the most exciting, fun-filled game.
Down to the last minute.
Of the first 5 minutes of the first quarter.
Yes. I had no clue for the first 30 seconds of the game who was going to win.
Yes. Of course, we're talking about them Broncos going into Miami.
How about them Broncos?
Woof. Listen, if I told you your quarterback is going to go 21 for 38 attempts, 306 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, it's probably kind of a close game, but no. Russell Wilson and those Broncos were blown out 70 to 20.
Yeah.
That's a 50-point difference in one football game.
Yeah.
As a Giants podcast, did we have that separation of a difference in points all of last year?
Nope. Or this year.
As a total for the year.
Oh, yeah. No, we definitely did for the year. Stop.
Just saying. It was kind of close there. Because we talk about negative and plus. But Dolphins win 70-0. Like I said. Wilson.
I don't know why my dolphin sounds like an underwater sheep, but it does.
It kind of sounds like an underwater Peter Griffin. Tua, 23 completions, 26 attempts. Fantastic.
Pretty goddamn high completion percentage.
309 yards, 4 touchdowns. So let's talk about those QBs real fast. One was 306, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. One was 309, just 4 touchdowns. Big difference.
Yeah. We got a third touchdown. We got a third quarterback, though.
Yep, Mike White. 69.
Mike White. The great Jet Hope.
He played better than probably Zach, but we'll talk about that later.
That's not saying much. The Jets should go ahead and try to trade for Mike White again.
It would have hurt.
The team.
69 yards, 1 touchdown. And then you had
just riding the A chain over here.
The A chain. 18.
Devin A chain. The little guy. The little engine that could.
Well, he had 203 yards, 2 touchdowns, and then ran for 4. Ran for 4 with 30 yards and 2 touchdowns.
That was catching. That was receiving.
Sorry, Raheem Mozart. I'm reading too far ahead. I apologize. My room's dark. If you guys haven't noticed, my light has gone out.
18 carries, 203 yards, 2 touchdowns, 4 catches, 30 yards, 2 more touchdowns. So 4 touchdowns total for Devin A. Chain there.
They just passed out all the fantasy points to the Miami team.
I'm telling you, like, oh my God. If you had both Dolphins running backs on your roster and you played them both. Whoa.
Yeah, Raheem Mozart. Mozart. Wow.
No. Mostert.
Yeah, I said it first. I said it right first. 13 attempts.
I don't even know if Mozart did that one. I don't even know what Mozart did.
82 yards, 3 touchdowns, 7 receptions, 60 yards, 1 touchdown. My God.
That's how many touchdowns for them? The Quattro all over again.
Yep. Tyreek Hill. He is making the case to get the first, what do you say, 2,500 yards he wants?
So he's broken the record for most yards in his first 20 games with the new team.
And he's looking to break this. He's also looking to break the record this season with the most reception yards.
We'll see.
He had 157 yards this game, 1 touchdown off of 9 catches.
He's got 412 yards already on the season. And the scary part is he had 40 yards a week too.
And I'm pretty sure he said he wanted 2,000 or 2,500. I think he said 2,500.
Well, he's on pace for over 2,000 based on that. Because you figure 3 weeks in, so you figure 412 yards times 5 is 2,000. I mean, he's already on pace for
a crazy year.
Yeah, he's going to break records potentially.
70 points ties the third most in NFL history.
And what's really scary is they could have gotten a field goal at the very end of the game, which would have made it 73, which would have broken the NFL record for most points, and they chose not to do it. First off, kudos to the Dolphins on that. That's classy because they could have done that very easily. That's class.
Yeah, I mean, you already put the spanking on.
Yeah, but still, they weren't trying to. They put their backup quarterback in. Even I mean, it's not like they were like trying to run up the score. It just kind of happened.
And with that backup quarterback, they still put up 726 yards, which is the second most on the offense in NFL history. 10 touchdowns, ties second most in NFL history. 2 players with 4 touchdowns each, and only 2 the second time in NFL history. Well, the second time in NFL history that this happened in a team. First team in NFL history to score 70 and gain over 700 yards. This was an outing.
Yeah, this was a historic, absolute historic outing.
This was just showing to say, hey, you guys were kind of us out of the AFC East. Well, guess what? We're still here.
Yeah. I don't even know what to say. There's no words for it. You see, somebody tried to ask Sean Payton a question, and he just totally went off. And we've had this discussion before, you and I, and I'm going to say it again. I don't think Sean Payton's that good of a head coach. I've said it before. I will say it again. I think he just benefited from having one of the best quarterbacks in the history of the NFL. And, obviously we all know Brady and his tremendous amount of rings, but even leaving him out of it, Eli got 2, Big Ben got 2, Peyton got 2, Breeze 1. Was Sean Payton that good to go to the playoffs every single year with the Saints and get 1 ring? Part of it you got to think about is that New Orleans was so bad for so long.
I was about to say.
They were just happy to go through that. That was the best time to ever be a Saints fan.
Yeah. It was a very long run with a very dry team that I guess he got him a little wet. He got him a little moist. They got him all excited.
A little moist, but didn't get the orgasm.
Just once.
So, yeah. All right. On to the next exciting game. We actually got a couple of really good games here. Los Angeles Chargers. The Chargers at the Minnesota Vikings, don't you know?
Don't you know?
Chargers win 28-24. Really, really close game. So one point here, this is all going to the fourth quarter here. The Vikings basically had an interception go right through their fingertips, ends up right into the hands after a little toss up there into the Chargers receiver for a touchdown. The Vikings then don't make it on fourth down in the ends. It's in the red zone, trying to go ahead and go up in the game here. The Chargers get the ball back. All they got to do is run down the clock, get the hell out of there, get a win,
get out of Dodge.
But nope, that's not what they do. They have trouble and they decide to go for it on fourth down. Think about this for a moment. Fourth down. Now the 25-yard line. So if you don't get it, the Vikings only need 25 yards to score the winning touchdown. The Vikings, very good offense. Then
Chargers defense.
They're only up by 4 points. 1 minute, 58 seconds to go. And yeah, valid point. Chargers have had trouble stopping people. So what do? They run the ball, don't get it, and give the ball back to the Vikings with like I said, just under 2 minutes, and only a ball at the 25-yard line. First off, side note, dumbest goddamn move ever by an NFL coach. If this doesn't totally signify what I've been saying for a while, Brandon Staley should not be a coach in this league. He is wasting years of Justin Herbert's career. He is wasting the defensive stars they have as well that aren't playing up to their potential. Think about it. They got Khalil Mack. They got Bosa. They got Derwin James. They have,
there's talent there.
Asante Samuel Jr. on there. They have a lot of talent in this defense, and it's not getting the job done. And then you got a boneheaded move like this. where they should have lost the game. But luckily for them, Kirk Cousins throws an interception into the end zone to end the game with 7 seconds left. And that was a batted ball that got batted around until somebody finally caught it. And just unfortunately for the Vikings, it happened to be a Charger.
Yep.
So, yeah, dumb move. I cannot stress that enough. That is a move that should get you fired the next day. And if they lost, they probably would have.
Probably. Yeah.
Kirk Cousins of the day, 32 of 50, 367 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Alexander Madison, first week after they signed to trade for a new running back because he has not been getting the job done. 20 carries, 93 yards. Good day for him. Justin Jefferson, the beast, 7 catches, 149 yards and a TD. Justin Herbert, 40 of 47. Threw the ball just a few times. 405 yards, 3 touchdowns. Keenan Allen, 18 catches for 215 yards, guys. Woo.
This might be one of the most ridiculous years for wide receivers.
And then he goes ahead and throws a touchdown pass to Mike Williams as well. Allen is the first player in NFL history to have over 15 catches and throw a passing TD in the game. That's pretty damn impressive. Mike Williams, though, bad news there, did tear his ACL in the game. So he's going to be out for a little while there.
Brutal.
Yeah.
But a little while, closer year.
Now,
on to the next.
Before we get to the next here, I think we should go over a little bit of comments here and pay the bills. So Let's see. Deb says, why do they play Lemieux? That's a very good question that I'm still trying to figure out myself. Shane Lemieux should never be allowed on a football field. He's horrible. Sorry, just horrible. I hate to give such a blanketed statement because he's still a human being. I hope the best for him as a person. He's not a good football player. Just not. Yeah.
The NFL caliber. Yes.
John says, WTF is Zacchaeus just scored for Philadelphia. Who, not what. Yeah, he's a receiver they picked up from the Falcons there to be one of their backup receivers. He's talking about the fact that as we're recording this live here, the Eagles are up right now 10-3 on the Bucks there. The Rams, if anybody cares about that, I know we care much more about the Eagles and Bucks, but the Rams are up right now 3-0 overall on the hit the wrong button here, over on the Bengals there. So the Bengals still can't score apparently. See, John says, I guess his mom wanted to make sure he could remember his name, so they made it rhyme. Rashid saved Shaheed. John says, Roberto, your fantasy is to be with a quarterback. Ruh-roh.
In a lingerie league.
Lingerie league. Oh my. John says, would you rather get to the playoffs every year or win a Super Bowl every 8 years? Win the Super Bowl every 8 years. Hands down. Hands down. John says, lose every year in the playoffs at different stages, such as wild card, division, NFC championship, etc., or win a Super Bowl every 8 years. Yeah, it's win the Super Bowl every 8 years. I'll take that.
Yeah, that's what you play for.
You play for the championships, not for the playoffs. Beef says, I have no clue why they started him a left guard. That's still a head scratcher. Listen, I would have taken Glowinski at left guard in a heartbeat over Shane Lemieux. I would have taken like one of those like Saint Bernards with that like pouch around his neck, as the left guard.
Holding the baby, protecting the kids.
Like he could have kept some Gatorades in there for the boys or something.
Yeah.
I would have changed.
That defense.
A well-trained circus bear at left guard. Hell, I would have taken a not so well-trained circus bear.
That might be better for us.
Shane Lemieux sucks. Like, oh my god, guys. I don't get it. And I've never gotten in general why people still thought he had any talent. Remember, like after the first year, he was horrible. The second year, he's hurt for the whole year. In year 3, people are like, "Oh, Shane Lemieux's going to come back. Shane Lemieux could be something special. Let's see what Shane Lemieux is." We know what he is. He sucks. He played the rookie year. He sucked then. He sucks now. He sucks. And he can't stay healthy. This is actually the first game he played start to finish in like 3 years. He's horrible. Move on. Needs to go. John says, wait, isn't Lemieux who had bad injury? Lemieux's had every injury. That's what he is. He's a walking injury. I'm surprised he didn't just hurt himself running out of the tunnel before the game. That's what he does. All right. Let's go ahead and pay the bills, and let's get back to the rest of the games.
Enjoying the show? Looking for more goofball action? Consider a membership at buymeacoffee.com/2 Giant Goofballs. Memberships start at just $5 and give you additional goofball access. One-time support payments also available starting at just $3. Buymeacoffee.com/2 Giant Goofballs.
All right.
Well, that was beautiful, Drew.
Right.
I love it when you read off that little clip. It's fantastic.
I'm not reading. It's not my voice.
It's
some random
his voice.
Some random AI voice. All righty.
All right.
On to the next game for you, Rob.
Let's talk about the other New York team. The Jets hosted the Patriots. Oh yeah, they crashed big time. But then again, the Pats have had their score for quite some time. Pats
Please
win.
put your seatbelts on. Please make your trays in the upright position. Prepare for a rough landing. There is turbulence.
Oh, there was a lot of tournaments. And what was the over on this game? I think it was 41 or 39.5. And I think we both took the over on this game.
We're not even talking about my over-unders this week. I was horrendous with that.
My God, we were way off in this game because it was 15-10. Pats win. 25 is a total. Wow.
Yeah. Bad.
15
that ain't very bad.
Straight wins the Pats had against the Jets.
That's bad.
That's domination.
That's bad.
Mac Jones looked decent. Not gonna lie, didn't look great. Jets defense does play well, but Jones was 15 out of 29 attempts, 201 yards, 1 touchdown. When there's only 15 points on that board, half of that pretty much came from your quarterback. So
yeah.
All right.
Well,
I'll give it to
this. Most of them should come from your quarterback in the NFL.
You're right. All right. You also got a running back too. So 1-1. I'll take that. That's 50%.
Let's talk about that running back.
Yeah, get right in there.
Mr. Belly Shirt himself.
It was Zeke, right? He got
Zeke. Ezekiel Elliott.
He got his house. What is he, over 8,000 yards now in his career after that game?
Oh, he's probably, yeah. I didn't hear that part of it, but I'm sure he is.
I think
he's going to realize if he can make it in the league for a couple of years, even as a backup, he's going to be potentially in the Hall of Fame talk because not a lot of players in this generation could even sniff 10,000 yards.
Yeah,
and he's already sniffing it.
I'm a big Bill Burr fan, and I'm pretty sure when I was listening to his Monday morning podcast, he was watching that game.
So 8,384 yards he has now. So he needs 1,700 yards. Give him a couple of years. He'll get.
Yeah, he'll be there. Zach Wilson.
As long as he can play for a couple of years.
Zach Wilson, the man, the myth, the legend.
Hide your mama.
Hide your mama. Hide your grandmother. He's coming from them all.
Hide your aunts.
Yeah. 18.
Your children are safe, though.
Yeah. Oh, gross. 36 attempts, 18 completions.
He's like, is this woman 35 years old? That's way too young.
Yeah, that's too young for me. That's too young.
She doesn't have enough experience in life.
Yeah. Wait, has she hit menopause yet? Too young. Too young.
I mean, guarantees no babies.
Although I do have to say, I mean, 157 yards. He may have thrown some more. He may have thrown some more yards than another quarterback we were talking about on average.
Still, he's shit. He needs to go.
Oh, yeah.
I really don't how the Jets have not made the call yet to Carson Wentz. Like, I'm not sitting here saying Carson Wentz is great. Do not read that wrong.
No, but they've been making
goddamn better than Zach Wilson.
They've been making a lot of calls out to some veteran quarterbacks. Do you see that Chad Henne?
No, that's not the answer. Chad Henne is not the answer.
He's not the answer, but it's just to get to Aaron Rodgers comes back next year.
Yes, but what I'm saying is you signed Carson Wentz for a one year pack. He's been sitting there waiting for a chance to start. Here's his chance to start. Give him another week or two to learn the offense a little better at that point.
I'm just saying
the offense to what he knows, and you go for it.
I'm just saying that they made an offer to Henne, who said no, and they haven't made an offer to Wentz. So they're probably seeing something.
I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse.
Until he sits at home with that Super Bowl ring.
You come to me on the day of my mother's friend's Sexual adventures. Dude, no matter how long Zach Wilson plays in the league, he will always be known as the QB that slept with his mom's friend, no matter what. No matter what.
Listen, it's going to be another 40 years, and he'll be known. That's what he's known for.
Yes. Remember back in my day, this is what I did.
I mean, he's got such a boy's face.
He does. He'll probably still look like he's 12 years old then. That's
Probably.
the scarier part that no one ever talks about in this whole thing, okay? He looks like he's still in high school.
He really does.
So I'm not... Listen, kudos to him if that's what he's into, whatever. But the women, that's a little creepy. That's a little creepy. Just saying. It's, yeah.
But in this game, the Jets threw a big Hail Mary, which is exactly what he did to his mom's friend. It was like, can I get it? Can I get it? Yes. Only that didn't happen in this game. He did not get that touchdown. He did not go into the end zone.
$10 says Zach Wilson gets a chubby every time he hears a song Stacy's Mom.
Oh, 100%. You know, that's exactly what he put on when this was going on.
Oh my God. I feel bad for Jets fans. I do. I really do. Like, they had so much hope for the season. So much hope. And listen, obviously I root first and foremost for the Giants. Obviously. But I don't hate the Jets. I don't know how all you all out there that are, diehard Giant fans like us and how you react to it. I don't hate the Jets. I hope nothing but good things for their fans. I feel bad for them because they're legit fans to go that many years and not see your team win. It's been over half a century.
I'm almost that old school root for your home team kind of guy. I'm a big Giants fan. I'm also a Mets fan. I'm also a Devils fan. I do not like the Flyers.
Like that, we lost half our audience.
But there's a lot of talk. Yankees, Mets, like, oh my God, there's so much rivalry. Like, why? It's a different division. They play on another side of New York. I don't care until we have to play each other.
Yeah.
It's just bragging rights at the end of the day.
That's what it boils down to. So, all right. Next game, we got the Buffalo Bills.
Those Buffaloes, so good.
Buffalo Bills, won't you come out tonight? Come out tonight. Come out.
Throw someone through a table. Come out.
Oh, and they came out. They came out. That's for sure. Against the Washington Commanders there in Washington. The Bills win 37-3, folks. Woo!
37-3. They should like the old Buffalo team.
That's goddamn crazy. And it just so many picks Sam Howell threw. There was a fumble as well. The Bills defense was just, it wasn't even the offense. Don't get me wrong. The offense was really good, obviously, when you score 37 points, but the defense just kept setting them up with turnover after turnover after turnover. I mean, the Commanders scored a last-minute field goal even just to avoid a shutout because it was that bad of a game for them. It was almost as bad as us against the Cowboys. I know Commander fans will say that. Oh, I know. That was 2 weeks ago. Get with the program, goddammit. Sam Howell on the day, 19 of 29, 170 yards, 4 interceptions. Josh Allen, 20 of 32 with 218 yards, a touchdown and interception. Stephon Diggs, 8 catches, 111 yards. Here's the thing. I know we usually give you the offensive stats. We know most people kind of care about that for whatever reason more than defense. We're going to give you one this game here. Terrell Bernard, 7 tackles,
Stud.
2 sacks, 2 tackles for loss, 2 QB hits, interception, and a fumble recovery in this game. That's a goddamn seriously legit
Pro Bowl
game.
stats.
Yeah, that's a controlling this game kind of stat there. So,
yeah.
Listen, I wasn't very high on the Bills going into the season, and I still wonder if their window is closing. But it obviously didn't close in this week.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, that was domination.
It obviously did not close this week. And all these people talking about how the Commanders are 2-0 and all, and how it's a new season, it's a new owner, it's a new this, it's a new that. I'm sorry. Sam Howell's crap. I've been saying it all off season. I was saying it all season. I will continue to say it until he proves otherwise.
I mean, he was his 32nd quarterback to be named the starter this year, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Exactly. So, 4 interceptions. I wonder why.
Yeah.
4 interceptions. Yeah.
Maybe they should be calling up Chad Henne. Anyway, the
So-
next game, we got the Panthers going into Seattle, playing that extra guy in that field there, which technically should be a penalty, but they always let them play that extra man.
The 12th
BS, I tell
man
you.
off the field.
It's BS, I tell you. Seahawks win this game, 37-27. That starting quarterback over there, he looked a little better than their rookie, I would have to say.
Andy Dalton, the Red Wonder.
The firecracker himself was 34 completions out of 58 attempts, 361 yards, 2 TDs. They played way different than they did when they had Young in there, because Young's more of a running quarterback, he's more mobile guy. He gets around, but
he gets around all right.
Oh yeah,
Hey-o.
But Dalton sat back there and kind of took his time, but he couldn't catch up to this. He couldn't catch up to Sneaky Pete. That's what he couldn't do.
Pete.
Adam Thielen.
So who's Alan? This is his brother.
Yeah.
Alan Thielen was in the audience to see his brother Adam Thielen play.
Thielen had a great game. It was probably his best in probably a year and a half.
That's one of his best ever. It's that kind of game.
Yeah, 145 yards, 1 touchdown off 11 catches. He also rode my bench this week. Balls.
Wow.
Geno Smith was 23 of 36 attempts, 296 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Kenneth Walker, the third. Esquire. 2 touchdowns, 97 yards off of 18 runs. And then you got DJ Metcalf, who was not on my bench.
DK, not DJ. DJ's our quarterback.
Yeah. Sorry, I get excited. I'm sorry. Ooh. DK.
Mufasa.
Anyway, Metcalf. Ooh,
Mufasa.
Metcalf, who was not on my fantasy bench, had 112 yards off of 6 catches. Yeah. Great showing.
Yeah, it was actually a really good game to watch. I watched a good amount of that because the red zone kept playing a lot of it. I'll say this: anybody happens to rewatch this game, take a look at the offensive line for the Seattle Seahawks there. They had a lot of injuries at the tackle position specifically. They were doing a lot of big formations, a lot of extra tight ends. They had 3 tight ends at a time at some points. So keep an eye. We are playing them next week. Something to kind of go over maybe in the preview episode later this week.
I mean, maybe I've been saying John should do 2 or 3 tight end setups, but
the problem is Darren Waller.
Darren
Waller's not a blocker.
Yeah, no, I got that. He's supposed to go out there to run for the ball, but when you got,
he hurts the line by being there. Hey, we found the place to go. Here you go. Here this guy is.
And there he goes.
There I go with the gnome. Saying,
that nose.
How about them Cowboys? Oh, yes.
Where's the Cowboy fans out there?
They're crying still. They're still crying because, Cowboys went to Arizona, where they laughed at our win against the Arizona Cardinals that we had to come back to win because the Cardinals are a crappy team. Well, guess what? We beat them at least. Because the Cardinals won their first game of the year against the Cowboys 28-16. And the Cardinals D was like quintessential bend but don't break kind of defense there. Because the Cowboys were, the second half especially, had over twice as much yards as the Cardinals did. But they would let them get in the red zone and just stop them. They stopped them on 4th down in the red zone. They stopped them on field goals in the red zone. They stopped them. It's like the Dallas Cowboys had no problem getting into the red zone. But once they got there, all of a sudden the Cardinals, and it wasn't like the Cowboys changed. It's something when the Cardinals changed, where all of a sudden they took it personal and just went after them. Dak ends up the game 25 of 40, 249 yards, 1 TD, 1 interception. Tony Pollard
might be his best outing.
Well, he had the interception, so he's back to his old self again.
It still sounds like his best outing.
Tony Pollard, 23 rushes, 122 yards. Joshua Dobbs, 17 of 21, 189 yards and a TD. James Conner, 14 rushes for 98 yards and a touchdown. Kazir White, the linebacker that moved with Gannon over from Philadelphia, is the one who picked off Dak right in the end zone to end the game. And if you actually look at this in slow motion, you're gonna like, what the hell? What was Dak doing? Dak buckles under pressure. I've said that for years. This is exactly what he did this time. The game was on the line. They were in the red zone. He threw the ball, looked at the linebacker the entire time, like did not even try to move him off the spot he was at. And he had a player off to his left side wide open, by the way. Wouldn't have been a touchdown, but would have at least gotten pretty close in. Potentially, you never know when he gets the ball in someone's hands in open space. But yeah, a horrible game for the Cowboys. Great game for everybody else who hates the Cowboys. And hopefully this continues as the Cowboys are officially in postseason form already.
That's fair enough. Yeah, that was just great outing by the Cardinals. Great viewing for the rest of the NFC East.
Yeah.
So that was enjoyment. But if you're a Chicago Bears fan, you also had
not enjoyment.
A terrible day, a terrible weekend, and probably a terrible Monday. Because the Bears go into
I've had a terrible since October. It's been a year since this team won. Oh my god.
Yeah. They were supposed to be one of those great teams, a sneaker or a sleeper, if you will, to win that division. Well, guess what? That's not going to happen.
We called it, though. For the record, we called it. If you
did.
win the offseason, you do not win the regular season. And I don't understand how people thought that all of a sudden Justin Fields was going to turn into some amazing pocket passer and stuff. I don't get it.
No, and that's okay. He doesn't turn into that this year, but the play calling has stopped him from running the ball as much as he should.
Yeah.
This whole year so far. So it's absurd.
The one thing he does well, you take it away from him.
Yeah. And because of that, the Chiefs beat up on the Bears.
Big time.
41-10.
Ouch.
This is now the 13th consecutive game the Bears have lost.
It's almost the whole season. That's almost the whole season, folks. That's bad. Even with the extra game, we're only 4 games away.
Yeah. Reed passes Landry for the 4th most wins. 50 more to pass Hollis.
54. Which is just ironic because they were facing the Bears. And, of course, George Hollis was the Bears coach for, 70 years.
Just about
there.
Swift was there, but who cares?
I had to put that note. Listen, I cannot tell you how freaking goddamn annoying it was. That
I thought I best read the notes for a second. I was like, wait, what?
They kept on nonstop during the game going over to show Taylor Swift, who was hanging out with Travis Kelce's mom in the press box, because of the whole, is Travis Kelce dating Taylor Swift? Is he dating? Are they dating? Who gives a goddamn? I'm there to watch football. I don't give a shit.
Hey.
I don't give a shit.
Give it a couple years. There'll be a song about Travis Kelce.
I'm telling you, it's going to be a great hit.
Yeah. It'll be number 1. She'll make another buku billion bucks off that.
And now, the number 1 hit in America, Thought You Were a Chieftain by Taylor Swift.
There goes my tight end.
Yes. He's now loose. What?
Oh.
You know it's coming.
100%.
Okay. That's what I'm going to challenge y'all with. In whatever platform you're listening or watching on, I want to hear in the comments section
the name of Taylor Swift's song.
The name of Taylor
Travis
Swift's
Kelce.
song she's going to do when whatever the hell is going on with her and Travis Kelce is over with. Because it's going to be, because I'm sorry, when you have so many bad relationships, at one point, you're the common denominator, Taylor.
Yeah, 100%.
Sorry,
That's
not trying to get a jerk about it.
10 years ago, I used to joke around. It's like, oh, she could write a bad song about me. And now, like 10 years later, I'm like, that's a terrible idea. She sounds crazy.
Hell, if you listen, I mean, she's not a bad-looking woman, so I mean, anybody who's single, go for it by all means. Just know you're going to be a radio hit when it's all said and done. So,
as long as I could get some of the moolah at the end of it.
Exactly. I want some royalties. All right.
Yeah.
And anyway,
Anyway,
but put in the
Mahomes.
comments section, guys, what Taylor Swift song do you think will be written about Travis Kelce?
Bye, tight end. Maybe by tight end. Anyway, Mahomes, 24 of 33 attempts, 272 yards, 3 touchdowns. He has still played well this year. He just doesn't look like Mahomes-esque that where everyone at ESPN wants to sit there and write a song
41
about
points.
him.
He looked pretty damn good.
He looked pretty damn good. You're right. But he's not sitting there throwing 400 yards like he was. He's not quite looking what he was. Not saying he's lost a step. Not saying he's where he was 2 years ago. Anyway, Kelce, the next song, 7 catches, 69 yards. Hey, Taylor. And 1 touchdown. Justin Fields with an amazing performance with a
Don't be mean. Bear fans have been through enough.
With 22 attempts, 11 catches there, 99 yards.
11 catches. What are you doing?
Yeah.
He was 11 of 22 for 99 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah.
Had 11 rushes of 47 yards.
That was getting there, man.
You were 11 catches.
Yeah, I apologize. I misspoke.
In all fairness, the way he's going, he might be a wide receiver or a tight end in a couple of years in this league.
At least a running back.
He should be a running back. Seriously, he's not a quarterback. I'm sorry, he's not that good. He's really not. I think it'd be kind of interesting though, putting him in a wildcat formation with an actual quarterback.
Yeah,
you never know what's going to happen. Wildcat it up. Let's go.
Listen, get Andy Dalton back there. See what happens.
Oh my God. All right. Last game we got here. And then we'll give you guys at least live updates of what's going on in the Monday Night Football game. And then if you're watching this after the fact, you just have to go to Google it real quick because it is what it is. Pittsburgh Steelers at the Las Vegas. The Raiders. The Raiders. When the best thing about the Raiders is saying their name. Yeah, that just tells you everything. Steelers win 23-18 because the Steelers defense just made Jimmy G look bad all game. The Raiders somehow clawed back though in the game to make it close. They were down 8 with 2.5 minutes left to go, and the ball was on the Steelers' 8-yard line. They took a field goal instead of going for the touchdown. Talk about bad coaching moves. Like Josh McDaniels needs to be right there in the unemployment line with Brandon Staley. So they give the ball back to the Steelers, who end up not giving the ball back to the Raiders again until there's 12 seconds left of the clock. So good luck with that. Jimmy G on the day, 28 of 44, 324 yards, but had 2 touchdowns to go with 3 interceptions. That's a lot. So almost Sam Howell. He ended up also getting hurt in the game because he kept getting knocked down like Tua. So at one point he got up like limping. Now apparently he's in concussion protocol as well. So Jimmy G might be out for a little while there. Devontae Adams, freaking beast, the only one who actually makes the Raiders worth watching at all. 13 catches, 172 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Josh Jacobs finally has a not so embarrassing, but still not very good game.
I was about to say.
17 carries, 62 yards. For the record, that's 64 more yards than last week.
Touche.
Kenny Pickett, Mr. Tiny Hands himself, 16 of 28, 235, 2 touchdowns. And it's weird to talk more about the offensive weapons for the Raiders, but they got some big names. I know people want to hear what they did. So final updates here for you guys. The Eagles are now up 20-3 on the Bucks. Looks like the Rams are up 6-3 on the Bengals. God damn, the Bengals just can't score this year. That's weird. I did not expect to say that this year. Burrow's got to.
But they're also not. As I say, they're not 100% healthy.
No, Burrow's still got to be hurt. There's no way in hell that happens otherwise. Alrighty, guys, we got a couple more comments here, and then we're gonna go into the end here, the grand finale. Let's see. We get that. He already did that. John says better than the butt fumble when we're talking about the Jets. Deb says Jets need their own house. I don't disagree on that whatsoever. Maybe then we can finally get grass because I want grass. John says, yes, Deb, I wish they'd leave already. John says, maybe Giants get them to pay more. I'll never understand why they can't get their own place. In all fairness, guys, this is a shared place. It was shared from the get-go. You guys are thinking that because MetLife was our place that they went into. Not MetLife, sorry, Giant Stadium. MetLife was a joint venture from the get-go. It's technically half and half. John says, and yet Buffalo quarterback Allen had only one touchdown pass. Yeah. John says, I love his through get 3 points to swag. We didn't get shut out. You lost 37-3. Guess better than 40-0. Ouch, made my point, but we got whipped too. Yeah. John says, did you hear about 49ers fans fighting amongst themselves? Shake my head. I didn't hear about that one. But I've heard a lot of Niners fans talking trash about Jones, and half of them being really nice. So yeah, it is what it is. Good and bad people in each group. John says it's cow pukes. Man, we call them Cowboys. John gives an idea for the song. Travis hurt my tight end and my heart. And John says, hey, don't pick in Roberto. And then Raphael pops in. Raphael, what's up, man? Again, Raphael, since you came in, anybody else came in, we're asking for any, what do you think Taylor Swift's hit song is going to be when her and Travis Kelce and whatever the hell is going on there? So keep that going in the comments section there after we're done here, guys. I'm curious to see what goes on. So we'll be back again for you guys here Wednesday night. Wednesday night. We go ahead and give our picks for the week 4 here coming up. I can't believe week 4. It means after this, the year's already a quarter of the way done, guys. Pretty much. That's crazy. We'll give our updates on the score. I'll give you a little sneak peek. Rob whooped my butt this week. But did he whoop my butt enough to take the lead? That's the question. Did he? We're going to find out that. We're going to find out.
We'll be writing a song about that as well.
Yes. Another Taylor Swift hit song. He beat my picks. No,
but not my spread.
I had a bad week. I had a really bad week.
He beat my picks, but not my spread. I
was okay in the picks, and I was bad on the spread. I was horrendous in the over-under. It was like the complete opposite of week 1 for me. But yeah, like I said, we'll be back Wednesday. We'll be back Thursday night as well for you guys. They're doing our pregame preview there for the Seahawks and Giants there for this Monday night. And then, like I said, we got a whole bunch of stuff in store for you guys. Sunday night, we're going to do our post reaction to all the NFL scores from Sunday. We're going to do that on Sunday instead of Monday next week because Monday night, dun, 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 dun.
Dun, 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 dun.
The Giants play the Seahawks, and we're going to do a post-game reaction show live on Monday as well. So make sure to hit the like. Make sure to hit the subscribe. Make sure to hit the follow. Make sure to hit the bell. Make sure to everything that's positive, basically. Don't hit that thumbs down on YouTube. That's not very good. Yeah. That's not nice. That's not nice. You there. Stop doing that. I see you.
More cowbell.
Need some more cowbell.
Yeah.
I got a fever. Listen, my name is Bruce Dickinson. I'm like everybody else. I put my pants in one leg at a time. Only afterwards I produce gold records. All right, guys. We will see you again Wednesday night here. Go Bucks, because we definitely want them to whoop the Eagles' butt here, hopefully, and turn things around in that game. Turn around.
Every now and then the Bucks could win this game.
Well, hopefully. 20-3 is not looking good though at that point, but it's still the third quarter. Who knows? Anything can happen. All right, guys. We'll see you guys Wednesday as we go over week 4 action in the NFL. As always, we are live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and of course, Rob's favorite, my LinkedIn profile.
LinkedIn.
Oh, yes. And of course, we're on every audio podcast platform, pretty much known demand. We're on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, iHeartRadio, and all the others. That's usually on the next day after we do the live episodes here. We'll see you guys again Wednesday night. As always, Giant fans, we appreciate you taking the time to listen to hear what these goofballs have to say. And as always,
go
G-Man! Go G-Man! Go G-Man! G-Man!
Thanks for listening to Two Giant Goofballs, a New York Giants podcast. We appreciate your support. If you made it this long, you must have enjoyed it. So I am sure you have followed us on all the social media platforms. Of course, you have subscribed to the show on your favorite app as well and given us a top rating. Right?
Thank you to those who have signed up for our silver gold levels of membership at buymeacoffee.com/2giantgoofballs.